could have died due to drug overdose when I was 18. Posted by Straight Johnson. Took a dangerous, potentially deadly combination of Klonopin and strong opiates as a child. The next thing I know, I'm on a gurney in the back of an ambulance. After my initial protestations and thorough freakout at being tied down to some bed with two strangers looking over me, I was told that I overdosed and literally saved my life with Narcan. I end up leaving the hospital the next day. My two brothers and two good friends picked me up. On the way back to my place, we stopped at Walmart. Within 2 minutes of entering the store, an elderly woman walked to our group, paying no heed to the 4 others I was with. She looked directly at me and said, "God told me that you needed this." She hands me a pamphlet. "Back from the dead, Jesus is here to save you." The pamphlet consisted of illustrations of a man waking up on a hospital gurney, dazed and confused, just like I was, not even 12 hours ago. The reason for this predicament coincided with mine as well. The booklet explained how to accept Jesus into your heart, how to be saved. I'm now 32 years old. This, along with a few other experiences, have made me absolutely certain that our reality has some sort of synchronous nature. Glitch in the matrix? God? Guardian angel? Or one hell of a coincidence? My significant other's client never lived where she remembers. Posted by Brayson. Okay. My significant other works in healthcare in the community. She visits clients in their homes to provide needed care, and a significant amount of her clientele is elderly. Loosely important to the story. She has a number of regular clients that she knows by name alone where they live. Now, she has had a client that she's worked with for over 5 years and has always gone to unit number 21 for her visits. It is an independent living complex with some staff for emergency, security, and on-site needs. This morning, she arrived as normal for her client's regular care. She is visited so often that she says she has muscle memory to get there, and pulls into her regular spot and proceeds to go to the door to knock. As she knocks, there is no answer. In over 5 years, there was one time where this client did not answer, and due to being elderly, she had fallen and was in need of help. After 3 attempts to knock, my significant other starts to get concerned. Rather than ask the home's front desk to let her in, she decides to call. Maybe she was away for the weekend, or maybe she was needing help again. The walkway is the one she knows. The exterior was the one she knows. The client answers the phone, and she states that she's at home awaiting my significant other's arrival. My significant other says she's been knocking for a few minutes but no answer. My significant other then asks her client the suite number, and she says, "I'm in number 8. Unit 8 is across the lot with the only access from another side street. My significant other is flabbergasted. She's never entered through that street to visit this client before, and is adamant that her client only ever has lived in Unit 21. So she heads over now, thinking that she's moved since her last visit. It happens in these communities. Everything looks different in this area. Finished work outside, sidewalk, doors, all of it. My significant other knocks and walks in. She starts her care and jokingly asks how she enjoys the new place. And as the client is answering, my significant other notices that furniture placement, colors, stains, everything is the same as she remembers from the other unit. The client says she's always lived in this suite since she moved in, and my significant other is even further confused. She finishes her care and goes to her car. Some downtime between clients, and tries to process what just happened. She says with every fiber of my being that this client lived in Unit 21. Every visit, Unit 21. Her autopilot drove her to Unit 21. The exterior of the suite she knew was for Unit 21. This is her first very memorable experience with a glitch, and she's so dumbfounded by it. She's in the process of asking coworkers who are familiar with the client where she lived. She's worried about both answers, especially if they say Unit 21. Edit number 1. I'm waiting for an update from my significant other. Because she and her coworkers are in the community, it's not always easy to get a reply on shift. Their shifts end around 3 p.m. my time. Currently 11:28. Edit number 2. She just got home, still waiting for one of her coworkers to get back to her. No one so far seems to remember this particular client. All previous visits on the log show Unit 8. She's still put off by this all. Edit number 3. One of her coworkers finally got back to her. She only remembers the client being in Unit number 8. So now my significant other feels like she's losing her mind and doesn't know what to make of it. This may lead down a rabbit hole because she's wholly convinced she remembers correctly. Any advice would be appreciated. Edit number 4. Breaking news. Literally a minute ago, another coworker just messaged her saying that she knows it's suite number 21. We're even more concerned and I have chills. This is messed up. He wanted our attention, then ceased to be. Posted by Anuit 7713. My grandma and I were out to lunch a few years back. Booth seats. We were talking about some life stuff, and she was all worried about family not getting along. I'm looking down at the table and see out of the corner of my eye a guy walk up behind her and touched her on the shoulder. At that very moment, someone dropped something in the kitchen that was nearby with a loud snap sound. My grandma and I looked directly at the man who touched her shoulder, and he isn't there anymore. My grandma was freaked, saying, "What's happening right now?" Nearly shaking. To calm her down, I responded, "Maybe it was an angel getting your attention." I don't know what happened, but it was weird. TLDR. The man tapped Grandma on her shoulder and disappeared. I didn't get a direct look, but Grandma felt it. We were spooked. Just had the most insignificant and tiny glitch. Bagel tab duplicated. Posted by Sly Fox 7777. So I was opening up a new pack of bagels I just bought. I undid the clip or tab to open up the bagels, placing the tab on the microwave corner. I then turned around to my fridge, got out the cream cheese, and by the time I turned back around, the bag of bagels was closed again by the clip. I think, oh, I must have just imagined myself undoing the clip. So I undo the clip again, and I place the clip on the microwave corner. But just as I put it down, I freeze because there's already a clip there. I think, oh, this must be from an old bag. So I inspect the first clip, and to my horror, it is identical to the one I'm holding in my hand. Same expiration date, same ID code, and even identical down to the same dent in the plastic in the exact same spot. So, did my bagel tab suddenly duplicate? Disappearing plane. Posted by The Dust Has Come to Stay. So this one happened about 20 years ago, and I've never been able to explain it. One morning I was getting a lift to work from my mother, and just as we were pulling up to the building, we saw what was a large aircraft plummeting to the ground. It was in a nosedive with a huge plume of black smoke coming from it. She dropped me off. I ran into the building and told the few people who were in the lobby what was happening. We all rushed outside, and it was gone. There was no smoke, nothing. Everyone looked at me like I was insane or just playing a sick joke, and I was totally perplexed. There was no wind on that day, and the plume of smoke was massive. We checked the news, and there was no report of a near crash. I asked my mom about it the other day, and she remembers it vividly. And I don't think we both hallucinated it. It still bothers me. Numerical glitch or just uncanny coincidence. Posted by Lola M. This story isn't anywhere near as interesting or as eerie as some of the stuff I see on this sub. And it might be one of those guess you had to be there stories. But this rather strange thing happened to me, and I strongly feel like it was either a glitch or synchronicity of some sort. And I've always wanted to talk about it. When I was in my early teens, I always liked the numbers 2549. They were just my favorite numbers, specifically those 4, specifically in that order. I don't know why, but I always felt like they rolled off the tongue, and being a dumbass kid, I'd go around saying 2549, 2549. If I needed a password for something, it was 2549. 549. My brother would always tell me to shut up, and that no one cared about my favorite numbers, and that they weren't cool or significant in any way. I knew that. I just liked them. And fast forward to me turning 14. I got my first cell phone. My parents were strict. I never had a phone as a child, LOL. Anyway, I'm extremely bad with technology, so I asked my tech-savvy brother to help me with setting it up, and with SIM activation and whatnot. A few minutes after fiddling around, he looks at me in disbelief and says, "Lainey, have you seen your cell phone number?" And I hadn't even looked at it, let alone tried to memorize it. So I was like, "No, why do you ask?" He told me to come have a look, and I swear to God, my cell phone number, last 4 digits, 2549. My favorite 4 numbers in the correct order were the last 4 digits of my first cell phone number. And my brother is the only one who understood the strangeness of it, because he'd heard me harp on about those numbers our entire childhood. We both just stared and then laughed at how coincidental it was. To this day, my phone number is the same. And I always chuckle to myself when I give people my number, because I still enjoy saying the numbers out loud just as I did as a kid. Life is weird. LOL.